I turned off the auto start.
Why?
Oh, here we go. There we go. Because I didn't know what was broken. That's why. It says we're live now.
Are we live now?
I think we're going to be catching up. Let's see.
I'm so glad we're live now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wow. Hi, everybody. Oh, boy.
It has been eventful the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
hey,
that was a hot 2 or 3 minutes.
Here we are.
Wow. How do you work this thing? Is this thing on?
We are Lizzie and Sean from Pasta Design.
Oh,
and
this is saying a playback error occurred. I'm trying to hit play on this now. Please try again later. What does that mean?
I don't know.
No, this says we're live here.
Okay.
I think you keep talking. Let me see what it looks like on my goggle box, okay?
Okay. Goggle box heard.
Yeah.
Today we're going to do...
Oh, yeah, there we are.
Are we working?
Yeah, we're working. This is great. Someone's saying hello in the chat. This is perfect. Okay, I'm out of here.
All right. So today we're going to do the prize winner die. Here are a couple of samples. Am I in the little box?
Get out of here, Sean. Here we go.
Boxy box. Here we go.
There it is.
Here are a couple of samples that I've done. This one I showed during the introductions. And then this one I made after the introductions were done and just have not put on the blog or anything yet.
You're saying you're keeping projects away?
Not on purpose. It's been a busy couple of weeks.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know is this gonna fit into our little box?
Yeah, you can do that. There you go.
Okay.
That looks great.
So this is the die here.
This is the prize winner die.
This is the prize winner die.
One of the newest releases.
Yes.
From Pasta Design.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this like rosette shape here. This is like the base. Here we've got an optional pinked edge, the circle front, and the tails. So for one ribbon, I guess, we're going to do a ribbon today. We're using the Color Story Christmas Cheer. We've got tails. I did one just to save us on a little bit of time, but we've got tails, so you need 4 pieces. So 2 of each tail. I've got, this is going to go in the back. I've got a base for the back, a base for the front, and then I'm using these monogram numerals shapes here for the front, the pink circle, and the rosette.
Wow.
So I know.
I heard you say optional when you were showing the dies earlier. Are we using all the optional pieces today?
We are using all of the optional pieces today.
Okay,
yes.
So nothing today is optional. Everything is mandatory.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
And I've got, on these 2 samples, I did 2 different style backs.
Oh.
So this is like a pin back.
Uh-huh.
And then this one is a bar pin. We're going to do a bar pin today.
Yeah, because you use the bar pin when you really love somebody.
That's
and if
not
you use the pin back. No, you use the pin back if you want the opportunity to like press the badge into their jacket or their hat. If you really if that's what you would do with that kind of style of pin back.
It's just an easy on, easy off thing. Anyway, and it's also just they're easier to put in because you literally just poke the whole thing.
Also easier to fall off because it's just that one back. And again, that's back to if you don't like them so much.
It's in there.
Oh, got it. Nice and sturdy. Okay,
nice
great.
And sturdy.
Hello to everybody in the chat. We're getting some people. Somebody said that we're cute. Wow.
Well, we try.
Thanks. I'm looking right at the camera. That's excellent.
All right. So
let's get to it. You want to see the pieces, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna get this where we want to go. There we go. Boom. We can see the pieces better now.
Okay.
As we really get stitching here, everybody.
I'm gonna start with the front because It's like the meat and potatoes. It's the trickiest part.
This is the trickiest part, so we're going to start with the hardest part. That's where I would begin, too.
That's the move here.
This is like if you have a recipe where you're using fresh thyme, you always pluck the fresh thyme first.
Sure.
Because it's the hardest part.
Indeed. Like that.
And there's a number 9, I notice.
Yes, there is a number 9.
I do know my Arabic numerals.
I'm so glad to hear it. College has worked for you.
Yeah, have you thought about Roman numerals? Oh, have you ever thought about a monogram Roman numerals?
That had not occurred to me, sir. No.
All right, I'm adding it to the list.
I's. All right.
And done.
Sorry, I should have threaded my needle before I...
That's okay. Folks like to thread your needle. I was surprised somebody asked in the chat from the first episode that we did. They noticed that you separate all the strands and then reconstitute. That was news to me. I didn't know that. And I've never separated all my strands to put them back together.
Yes, I find that they lay nice and flat that way.
Wow. Okay. That's why you're at the table and I'm at the chair. That's how that worked.
I'm a fancy lady. What can I say?
Yes, fancy lady for sure. And what color are we threading here?
This is 153 or Pixie.
Pixie. Yeah. How come I can't? I want to have the felt.
I'm sorry.
You know me. I need a plastic bag for crinkling.
You do. This color story I said was Christmas cheer. So there's vintage glass.
Oh, wait a minute. There's vintage glass.
Sorry, vintage glass.
Vintage glass down there. Oh, boy. Vintage glass. Oh, smooch.
Smooch is the next one.
Smooch is the next one. Here's
Peridot.
smooch. Smooch is gorgeous. Okay, peridot.
Peridot. Glacier.
Our 4-year-old is still learning to pronounce peridot.
Indeed. Peridot, Glacier, and Pixie are the colors in that.
Where is my... I don't know where my mark is on this. And then the last but not least, which is what we're stitching and sewing.
Yes, right now.
Aha, there is
and again,
the Pixie.
I'm just using a running stitch to add the number onto the front circle here.
That's our first stitch of the day, the running stitch.
The running stitch.
Tried and true.
In fact, we will be using the running stitch for everything today.
Oh my lord, there's no other stitches today.
No.
Just the running stitch.
Just the running stitch.
Okay, and you started at the bottom.
That's just personal preference. Because I like to start at an end.
Uh-huh. And we're moving up. So the first thing we're doing is we're connecting this numeral, which is not part of the prize winner's
this is a monogram numeral.
From the monogram numeral. Because some people might wonder, like, what the heck do you do with the monogram numeral set?
Well, there's this.
Uh-huh. And so it just turns out somehow that the size of the circle on the prize winner die matches perfectly with the size of the numerals.
How did she do it?
Some kind of sick genius understood the assignment here.
Well, you know.
Okay.
But if you didn't want to use this for birthdays or anything, I was thinking about this yesterday.
You were thinking about the prize winner die yesterday?
Yes, it was.
Okay, go on.
You could use the stars from the birthday crown can go on the circle.
So on the circle you would have a star.
Or the heart and the love notes.
Oh, that's so nice.
For like Valentine's Day.
For Valentine's Day, yeah. If you wanted to give that would be a Valentine's gift. That's sort of a platonic gift, right? Don't you think? No, you don't think it's super platonic?
What did I just do?
I'm not sure what you just do. I'm just thinking about the romance of giving. Like, imagine when
It'd be great for like a kiddo.
Oh, for a kid. That's what I'm saying. It feels a little. Well, yes, young love, puppy love.
I suppose.
All I'm saying is that when I was 18 and you were 17 for Valentine's Day, if I had given you a felt ribbon with a heart on the top of it.
I've got news for you, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't think our market is really 18-year-old boys. I could be wrong.
Oh, that's true. I had failed to think about that.
I could be wrong.
Let me check in the chat. Are there any 18-year-old young men in the chat? If there are, you should be in school.
Yep.
Okay? Stay in school.
Stay in school.
I don't know why you're here right now. Or maybe put your phone away and go back to school.
Maybe they're at lunch.
Oh, they're at lunch at 1:11 in the afternoon. Are you kidding me? No,
We're not the only time zone, Sean Jones.
Oh, that's true. You're right. There are different time zones. Thank you for that.
Someone in the central time zone might be at lunch.
You're exactly right. And they're currently hiding in the locker room right now, watching Stitching Live with
a middle-aged
Lizzie
couple.
and Sean. This is great. Oh, you said middle-aged.
It's true.
I know, but that doesn't mean you have to say it. Okay, so we've got this number 9 on there. So we said, so the monogram numerals, the star, and the heart. These are all ideas of things that could go
ideas of things.
Onto, all right.
If you didn't want to do like a birthday.
And if you were thinking, because that's how you said this all got started. You were thinking yesterday about that. No, that's great. I like it. Okay.
Or like I said, there's like the number and there's like the ST and the ND and like all those suffixes.
Oh, you're talking about, I'm with you now. You could put the 1 on there and then an ST for first.
I believe I forgot all of those back in the barn.
Oh, I'm not going to the barn.
You don't need
I am right here under the warmth of a laptop. And by your side.
I definitely just realized that I'd forgotten those pieces out in the barn.
Those are the pieces that come with the prize winner.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay. So, movie magic. We'll add this in post-production. There's no post-production. There's barely any pre-production. But the prize winner die does come with an ST.
An ST.
And an ND.
And a TH.
Oh, also a TH.
And an RD.
Can I buy a vowel?
And stop it. and the hashtaggy.
Oh, the
pound sign.
The pound sign. Thank you. Yes. Okay, great.
I'm sure that has an official name, and I'm not.
So LOL, there's lots of letters.
Well, there's...
Or LOC, lots of characters. There's the pound symbol, and lots of characters in there for you.
Okay. So we've got our 9 on there.
Okay. We got the update that it's currently 11:12 here in Arizona. So perhaps there are...
See, there could be people watching
There are some young lovers watching at lunch thinking, what am I going to do for Valentine's Day? And do I have the time to stitch it? The answer to both those questions are...
Yes.
Prize winner die with a heart on top, and yes, you do. Because you can stitch it and we can show you how. That's what we're doing right now.
We are here for you.
We're here you stitching. So you already have that number 9 on.
I do.
Boom, we're moving on to the next component.
I'm going to add a couple of sequins for some sparkle.
You're getting into the sequins early. So last time on Stitching Live.
Last time it was 14 years of stems.
It was not 14 years of stems. It was a totally tasteful amount of stems.
There's a lot of stems. And so this time we are going to be sewing this layer down, so we need to do whatever embellishments we want to do on it.
Oh, otherwise, if you... I get it now.
You could do them through the other
But they would go through the back is what you're...
No, they would go into the center, but it does... I just figured now would be an opportune time.
I'm thinking about this because I've never had to think about this before. So you're going to add the embellishments now because it'll be fewer layers of felt to physically have to push through.
Correct.
Right? Number 1. And number 2, there's a chance that if you wait until the end, then people are going to see all your work on the back. And you don't want that necessarily.
Well, they wouldn't because there's a front and a back base here, but yes.
Okay. Oh, we just have the chat has warmed up here. Someone wants to know that they're on double digits, so how do they make one for themselves?
Accessory numerals.
Would
fit well.
That's right. The accessory numerals.
Yes.
Would fit very nicely in there. Let's say hypothetically speaking, you're over the age of 9. And you would like to make one of these badges for yourself.
For yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is great. That's great. So you said the accessory numerals.
Yes.
Or even the accessory alphabet, because then you could get into all kinds you could get into things like FBI if you wanted to, or CIA, or what are other acronyms we could go for?
FFA.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, that's a strange one. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just thinking a 3-letter... We're from the country.
That's true. Yeah. So 4-H is what you're looking for.
Exactly.
I pledge my head.
I was not in 4-H.
Perfect.
So I don't know any of the
Which is
things.
it? You're from the country or you're not from the country?
Listen, I am from the country, but I did not get to participate in all of the things.
She knows how to work and she knows how to play. Okay. Oh, good. I have 2 sets of accessory numerals.
Perfect.
That's excellent. Okay, so what are you doing? You've added a sequin.
I added a bead and a sequin.
You added a bead. Oh, so the bead's inside the sequin.
Yes.
I'm on to you. Don't worry. I learned this last week.
And
okay.
then I'm just going to add a bead.
Another bead?
Yep.
Okay.
Just for funsies.
And you're adding this onto. I'm trying to see what you're.
There's the gap. So since I'm sort of adding a bead where there's no hole of any kind, I leave a gap when I go in and back down, up and back down.
I'm trying to tighten this up here. Everybody can see me like leaning in.
Can you see now?
No, you can't see now because it's getting worse, not better. Don't worry.
Fantastic.
And I don't think I can tighten it up any further.
Tighten it up anymore.
Okay, that's as tight as it gets. I'm sorry. On with the chlorophyll.
So, what?
You heard me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I leave a gap so that the bead has something to really grab onto. The knot has something to go around here. I left that tail a little too short.
Okay, so there's a gap between the sequins and bead and then the new bead that you're adding.
There's a gap between where I went up through the back of the felt and back down through the front of the felt.
Okay.
And that gap is where the knot sort of really grabs onto. See there.
Yes.
And then
maybe raise it a little bit higher into the air for just a second. Change the depth on that bad boy. No, higher. Oh yeah, that's nice. Look at that. Okay, I can see it. And then flip it around so I can see the front of it.
Yeah.
Now hold it right way up because that looks like a 6. There it is. Okay, so you added a bead and a bead and sequins combo.
Yes.
And they're both kind of in the 7, they're like in the 8 o'clock position on the circle.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to add something over here.
Mm-hmm. Just a little something over here.
Just a little something over here, maybe another one down to triangulate, you know.
Oh, you're trying to create a visual triangle. Say it with me in the chat, everybody. A visual triangle. Great.
Just for a little bit of interest and fun on the, because this will be for a birthday.
This is going to be for certain someone's birthday.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so there we go. This is another combo.
Yep. So there you can see I went up through the back.
Uh-huh.
And then I left a gap.
Uh-huh. And you came back down through.
Back down through. And then I'm just going to tie it off again with a double knot.
Uh-huh. And once you've got that tied off, that's all the embellishment we're going to have here.
I'm going to add another one for the triangulation.
Oh, I thought this was a triangle.
No.
You already have 2 on the other side.
But they make
very
up
skinny.
one element.
Oh, thank you, so
saying?
much. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying now. Yeah,
so
you got me.
like something down here.
That's good because I really want to watch this one more time on how this goes. Okay, so the needle is through the felt.
Through the felt.
And the thread.
Add a bead.
A bead this time.
So it's, it's a light triangle.
But you've been doing all this with your standard needle because the bead is going to fit through the eye of that bad boy.
This one will. Some of my needles I've had for an eternity, and I don't know if they're the number 5s anymore.
Yep. But you didn't go back through the bead and sequin. How do you do the sequence? Is fatter than the bead. You went up through the felt, up through the bead and sequins. And then when you come back down, though, you don't go back through the bead and sequins again.
I do go back through the bead.
Oh, you do.
Also, it's not sequence.
Oh, here we go. I was pronouncing it properly. Sequins.
No, that's not properly.
Okay.
This is a long-running discussion that we have had in our house.
I can't believe that you have decided to bring off live chats to the table here today. I came clean slate.
It's a sequin. It's a sequin.
Okay, so you came through the sequin on the underside, and then you went back through the sequin on the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I did.
I'm really thinking hard about this. Everybody can see me.
All right.
Can I see that for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will clear my work surface a bit.
You came up through the felt, up through the sequin, up through the bead.
Uh-huh.
And then, you didn't go back down through the bead. You just went back down through the sequin? Okay. Because otherwise the bead would fall off.
Yes.
Okay, and that's how you make sure that the thread gets back to the bottom. But then when you do that, you're on a different side. Okay, this is wonderful, everybody. Wow. I wish that you could be where I am right now holding on to. There, you can have it back.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we have 3 elements, visual triangle, bead sequin.
Yes.
We're good. Bead sequin. But there's more than one sequin on there, so it's sequins. Am I right? Oh, wow. The silence is deafening. What's happening now?
I'm layering my pieces.
That's great. Okay. So you're going to stitch all at the same time. You're going to put this front on the green starburst pattern onto... So
on the green, then on the pink. Sorry, it's hard to line up at this angle.
Smooch. I can't believe you called it pink.
Sorry.
Smooch, everybody.
Smooch, everybody.
And what was the base layer? What color was that?
This is Glacier.
Okay.
So we are layering all 4 pieces.
We put the pixie on top of the Glacier, and now that's going to go on top of the Smooch.
Correct.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Sorry, I'm working really hard to get that lined up.
Nobody's watching what I'm doing anyways. And I dropped the peridot onto the floor. So I'll be back in a flash.
Okay, so now I'm going to get some of my... This is 3851, which is what I use for vintage glass.
3851 is what we use for vintage glass.
Correct.
I'm just rolling this felt on my chest now. Oh boy, it's getting worse, not better. Okay.
I'm just sort of eyeballing or estimating how much thread I need, because stitching through that many layers, I don't want to have to go back and...
Oh man, we're so busy over here. We've sort of neglected the chat, but someone wanted to know that I have to get the sequence of the sequence correct. Oh Lord, we found our audience, folks. We have found you. Thank you for that. Yes, I have to get the sequence of my sequins right. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. Oh boy, diction. Francis. Okay, the sequence of the sequence.
If only I could explain how long this has been a conversation around our house. It's been years.
Years?
Yes.
Wow, did anybody catch the number of the bus that just went by? I didn't see it. It must have been in the accessories numerals. If it was in the monograms, it'd be a little bit louder. Yeah, okay. All right, the sequence.
Sequins.
The sequence of the sequins.
Okay.
Okay. This is all part of the great Midwestern vowel movement. That's where that comes from.
Oh, now that I've got my thread mess here, let me get my needle threaded back again.
Yeah, so you can put your needle down. There you go. All right, so we're threaded. So we're going to stitch these together.
Yes.
This is great. This is like a 3-for-1 stitch. We're going to running stitch 3 pieces together.
It's 4 pieces.
What is the 4th piece?
The base.
What base? The straw color, the straw flower thing is the base. The smooch part is the base.
Not.
Oh, that's not? There's a Glacier base?
Yes.
What color is the 9 attached to?
Tundra.
Tundra's not in the color story. That's what it is. Okay, I was so confused. I was very confident with the Glacier earlier. That means the thing that I did where I held all the colors up together, we have to take that out in post-production now as well.
And I'm aware that we are out of Tundra. We are doing our best to get it back. Our suppliers, or our distributor, is based in LA, and they've hit some snags recently, as you may have heard, and so
so coming back soon.
We're being as patient as we can, and they are working as hard as they can.
This is really happening here, though. We're stitching something here. Okay, so this is the beginning of.
We're starting on the back.
We're starting on the back because we're going to make the rosette here, aren't we?
So we're folding down each petal one at a time.
So the smooch, the bright pink color we see there, which are all sticking out right now like they're a straw flower or something.
Yes,
petal.
This is tricky to do whilst trying to explain it.
I'll explain it while you're trying to do it. So you're coming up through the base layer, which is this Glacier color that you can't really see right now on the camera, and you're coming up through the pink, and then you folded down the pink loop. So there's 2 different holes that are punched along that bad boy.
So each petal of this shape has 2 holes in it, and they correspond to 2 holes in the each sort of point of the pinked circle.
Okay, we got to elevator pitch this. There are 2 sets of holes on each one of those pink segments.
Yes.
There's a set of holes at the bottom and a set of holes at the top, and it allows you to fold it down.
Yes.
And then stitch it together to give this 3-dimensional rosette loop that you get there.
Correct.
Yes.
And it's just a running stitch.
And we're just going to running stitch that. But every time we do that, we're going to go from segment to segment, and we're going to fold down.
There is 1 hole between each segment.
Oh, there's 1 hole between each segment.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be 3 holes then together there. So it's like segment, segment, spacing hole, segment, segment, spacing
Correct.
hole. That's great. Okay.
So you're just going to do them one at a time.
I can see where you folded that one down.
And I like to, it's like I said, it's hard to do this on camera because I'm trying to show you and keep it away from my body. But you're just going to kind of peel back the layers so that you make sure that you're in the holes as you go.
Got it. So every time you come up through the new segment, you kind of have to peel back the number 9 connected to the tundra and the green starburst shape.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Just to make sure you're in the right section. And then once you do that, you get into the pink segment of the, you're calling that the what now? The rosé? No.
Rosette.
The rosette.
Rosé is a
different
beverage.
kind of pink thing. Okay.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Okay. And it's truly just sewing in a circle. The most challenging part is just making sure that you're going through the hole in each of those layers.
I'm on the edge of my seat. This is a nonstop thrill ride. This is great. This is like an action-packed, every time it's like, will she? It's like a tightrope.
Right. Well,
yes, but once you get the hang of it, you're just cruising. You're just cruising right along.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe there are some people right now in the chat that are stitching at home. They're probably cruising right along on their projects too.
And again, it's usually when I'm stitching, I'm like stitching way up by my face, so it's a lot easier to see.
Well, I can always, I mean, if you want to, I can switch the camera angle so it's up by your face now that we've shown this part. And you can see, you can stitch it a little bit easier there.
It's okay.
I mean, once they've seen 3 or 4, they don't have to watch you. We're not here to watch you struggle. We're just here to watch you stitch.
Do I look like I'm struggling?
Struggling live with Lizzie and Sean. It's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't look like I'm struggling. It's really not super hard. It's just a matter of making sure that you've got all of your holes lined up.
Now you said this was a running stitch. Yep. Last week it was like you were going every other hole. You had to go up and then you had to come back down.
Yeah,
you're not doing that. You're not going to have to come back. You're not going halfway one way and then coming back the other way here, are you?
Because I'm going to go all the way around and then all the way around a second time. Yes.
You're going to go all the way around a second time?
I am.
I don't understand that. You have to explain that to me too.
Okay.
What do you mean you're going to go all around a second time?
To fill in all the open stitches.
Where are the open stitches going to be?
That is an open stitch, and that is an open stitch, and that is an open stitch, and that is an open stitch.
Oh, but when you go back through the second time, all the rosette pieces will be stitched down.
Yeah,
correct?
so you don't have to, you don't have to struggle.
So are you gonna be stitching back through the rosette segments a second time?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So really, it's just gonna secure those down even more than they are now.
Than they are now. Okay, got it. So there are some open holes as you're doing this.
Yeah, every other hole is open.
Every other hole is open.
Or every other stitch is open.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Got it. I don't got it. You have to show this to me later.
Well, here, look at one of the finished ones.
Okay, fine. Yeah, this is, if I'm going to look at this finished one on camera, though, I feel a little bit like a chimpanzee in a zoo. You know, like everybody's kind of coming past and I'm just like here, kind of zoomed in, like what on earth is happening? Okay. I just thought that since everyone had 2, I can see the 2. I'm peeling back the layers, everybody.
You don't have to go through it a second time if you don't want to. But I generally do because it just makes things feel a little bit more secure.
Are the stitches that you're missing the first time through, or the holes that you're skipping the first time through?
I'm not skipping any holes. I'm just the stitch goes either above or below. So it's like they're just on opposite sides. And so when you go around a second time, you fill in all the other sides.
Yeah, so right now what you've got is a dashed line.
Yes.
Yes. And if you don't want the line to be a dashed line all the way, then you have to go around through and connect in between the gaps of all of those.
Yes.
Okay, I get it now. This is great. Let's see. I love this die. So glad to see you stitch it. That's great to hear. Yes. That's really great to hear. We've got all kinds of ideas for what images should be in the center.
Put flowers
in the chat. Yeah, well, they said that they want a tiny cupcake.
Oh, okay, noted.
A little heart, a little shamrock, or a flower, perhaps something there in the middle.
I have a knot. Sorry.
Oh boy, there's a.
Got it. Okay.
Nailed it. Yes. She added this to my collection. This is amazing. Will it be even if you leave it every other stitch, Lizzie? Sometimes I love that look. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be
so
even.
So if you decide not to do the running stitch,
it'd be fine.
It would be even. Yes, and that look does look. I can see it right now. I'm looking at it. It looks kind of nice.
I mean, it's cute.
Go ahead. Why don't you get your needle to the back, and then we can show just this little bit of the. Because you've probably worked on what, about 90 degrees of this thing so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Hold it flat and then lift it up towards the camera so people can see.
That better?
Yeah, that looks really great. Look at what you did there. Yeah, so you could leave that dashed effect, or you could go and hang out a second time around with your running stitch.
You could. And
you could kind of solidify it up and make it look like one whole connected segment, which is what we have here. I don't know how helpful it is if I zoom this. Now I don't have a lot of light there. Yeah, see? Like we said, pre-production, post-production. There you go. It's so much brighter here than it is over there. You guys don't mind if I just hang on to this the whole episode because it says number 1, just to be clear. Oh, boy.
Pretty great.
Boy. Yeah. Okay, great. Number 1. Thanks. When you had your little pound sign there. That's amazing. Okay, great. Is anybody in the chat stitching along today or not? That's what I want to know. Are we the only ones stitching or are they stitching live with us?
I don't know.
We're going to find out. I'm sure there's a little bit of time in between when I say it and when people see it.
I guess I could just go around once for today.
No, you could do either or. I'm not sure. You could always double back through.
Would like it with it just the once?
Again, you could always come back through a second time later off camera. We're here stitching live.
I can't because I've got to seal up the whole shaboozle.
Oh boy. Okay, we don't have time to phone a friend on this one, so you're going to have to make an executive decision.
Let's see here. I'm going to go around both.
You're going to go around both, yeah?
I am.
And it'll go a lot faster as you're going through the second time anyways, because you're not getting the layers together.
Oh, see, because like there I just came through a goofy spot, so I'm going to fix that one here real quick.
Okay, Goof Troop, we're pulling the thread back out.
Yeah, I lost track of my hole there for a second, and I came out in the middle of nowhere.
This is great. This is like watching a golfer hit into a sand trap. It's like... people make mistakes, you make mistakes, it's all good.
Yeah.
Not stitching currently later, so there we go. Oh, someone right now is stitching up some love notes.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
I like that die.
I'm cutting out the thread holder dies in all of my felt colors with a big smiley face. That's great. Someone else is not stitching right now, making new ink swatch labels at the moment. This is the most productive chat.
It is.
Someone says that the stitching is a little bit low. We've got some data stuff happening over here right now, so trying to see. I'm not going to mess with any of that. That's for sure. Sorry, I'm just doing some technical, looking at some technical difficulties here for just quite a moment.
Wi-Fi is being sluggish all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's do that. I'm going to leave it alone for now and just see what happens.
Okay.
Going to leave it alone. I don't want to go really messing with anything, and you're just stitching right along over there.
I am doing my darndest here.
This is great. Someone is joining us. Hi, if you're just joining in, that's Lizzie in the upper left-hand corner, and this is Sean in the lower left-hand corner, and you are stitching live. We are here in our studio putting together the prize winner die, which is part of our birthday collection.
Indeed it is.
From our latest release here in 2024, Bridging the Gap over to 2025, which I understand is the current year.
Indeed it is.
And we're going around the prize winner die, and we're making sure all the little folds of the rosette are getting folded down and combined with the other layers. So we have a base layer, You're seeing a lot of the base layer. That's in our glacier felt that you can get from us at Pasha. We're stitching through the rosette layers made out of smooch, which is this really bright pink color that we have there. And it's going through a green layer, which is kind of a starbursty pattern to give it even more depth.
That's peridot.
Peridot. There's peridot for you. And on the very top, we have the number 9 because this is going to be for someone who is soon to turn 9.
Indeed.
To pin onto their lapel or attach to their hat, or
attached to their hat.
It could go on their Letterman jacket.
I don't know that 9-year-olds have Letterman jackets.
Do you think that Doogie Howser had a Letterman jacket when he was 9?
I do not.
Again, I'm making sure that all of my references are up to date and contemporary, as dated as possible. That's right, standing the test of time. And you've almost got all those bad boys folded down right there.
Yep.
Anybody in the chat tracking the number of bad boys on this Stitch Live today? I think that was the first one.
I think so.
Yeah, that's one bad boy all day.
One bad boy.
Okay, you have a knot there, but it looks like you're working it out just fine.
It wasn't a knot. It was just looped around my bead. That happens sometimes.
A little bead loop there.
A little bead loop.
Okay. This is great. Now, could you use just this circle without the tails attached to it?
Certainly.
Yeah, they kind of look. It kind of looks like, I don't know. It's like a small coaster.
Yeah, or well, I was going to say,
what were you going to say?
Like a brooch of some kind.
Oh, like a brooch of some kind. You could just attach that to your lapel.
You could.
If you had lapels.
If you had lapels.
If you happen to have lapels, you could do that. That's excellent.
I currently have a lapel.
Yeah, me neither.
Yes, you do.
What are you talking about?
On your jacket and on your
I don't. Yeah, I guess you're right about all of that. Okay.
Trying to see. There we go.
There you go. You're punching it through right there. And this is great because you're using the Christmas cheer is the color story, which of course is great at Christmas time, but it's also great for doing a birthday present like this for a certain special somebody.
Well, yes, I think the colors will appeal to her.
Yes, in particular.
In particular.
That's great. Colors are looking nice, stitching it through. And once you get these all the way done, we've already talked about this, but you're going to go around and finish up with some more running stitch and connect all the segments together.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I am. Which, as we discussed, is not strictly necessary. Why is that stuck?
I don't know. What did you get stuck on this time?
I don't know. Do I have a knot of some kind? I might have a knot. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, someone suggested you could add some of your florals for a Mother's Day brooch. There you go.
You certainly could.
And if you did that, your mother would be the belle of the ball once that happened.
I bet the large posy from the floral, the fresh flowers that we did last week would be really cute.
The large posy from the fresh flowers. Is anything from Garden Trimmings or Gathered Garden? I'm trying to think of those images in my head too.
Gathered Garden might be, Gathered Garden probably would work too. Yeah, certainly.
This is great.
Or the flower from the floral heart would be really cute.
We start combining. How about any of the flowers that might be involved in the autumn floral pumpkin designs? Yeah. Those come to mind as well.
Yeah, there's the one that looks kind of like a sunflower.
You've got options out there, okay? Always. You have all kinds of options. And that's one thing that we usually do during Valentine's Day is think about flowers and options.
Indeed.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. I called the flower hotline today. On the way to
flower hotline.
Yeah, on the Instagram, our favorite flower shop there in downtown Columbus.
Okay.
They posted just their phone number that said flower hotline. So
you called
when I had her in the car, I called and I said, "Is this the flower hotline?" And they started cackling immediately with lots of laughter. And so they knew who I was. And then I ran the quiz past them too.
The quiz?
Yeah, the quiz. I let them.
That's right.
They got first dibs on the quiz.
Are you going to do your quiz?
I didn't know if this was the right time to do the quiz or not. I did a little show prep, and you're stitching over there. And there's a lot happening in the chat. There's people talking about other kinds of cool things you could do in red, white, and blue. A vote lapel pin would be cute in red, white, and blue. There you go.
I bet you could fit all the letters from Accessory Alphabet if you did them in like the VOTE, like a stacked.
You could stack them together. Someone said that'd be great for kids running for student council. That seems very topical. Is somebody in your house right now running for student council? That's a good question. Anyways, it seemed like we had plenty of stuff to talk about. I didn't have to sidetrack the conversation. But don't worry, I did a little show prep. We can always use it for later. You know what I mean?
So yes, here I did reach the end and I just doubled back. And so now I'm going back the way I came.
Oh, so you're stitching, so you went like clockwise the first time and now you're going counterclockwise the second time.
Yes.
For example, I don't know if that really tracks. Is that the direction you're going now?
I don't recall, honestly.
I think you are. I think you're going counterclockwise right now. Yes! Okay.
Sure.
I'm bringing the ruckus here today. Someone says, okay, Sean, you win. I'm adding it to the cart. Ha! Oh, man, that's so funny. That's great.
It's a really fun die, I think, anyway.
It's a good thing I put my phone on Do Not Disturb so that all the cart adding won't be cha-chinging through my phone. That's a joke, by the way. I have almost no notifications running through my phone at any point in time.
And I would not allow a cha-ching, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that would be crazy.
That's a little much.
Everybody can have fun with a cha-ching sound, that's for sure.
Give me a cha-ching, Nance.
Cha-ching! Okay, so once we stitch through all the way, then we're going to start adding the other parts to it, right? Which are just the two tails.
The tails and the pin back on the back.
Oh, that's right, the pin back on the back, yeah.
So you could do the push style pin back, which is super easy and quick.
Or you could do the Lizzie Jones, and you could do the bar pin. Yes.
Which is also really quick, and I have a very not technical way to put it on there.
Oh. But not hot glue. I don't think there's is there a hot glue gun in the chat today? I'm looking around for it.
I wrapped it up and put it over on the card over there.
We left the hot glue gun plugged in last week when we went to do the pickup from school. So we came home kind of quickly to get the hot glue gun unplugged. If anybody in the chat ever leave a hot glue gun plugged in when they went to get their child.
We were halfway to school and Sean said, "Did you unplug the hot glue gun?" And I said, "I thought you unplugged the hot glue gun." And then we said, "Oh, okay, well, we can't turn back now because we have to get the kiddo from school." So.
Oh, yeah, I'm not turning around for hot. I'm not going to be late at school. Oh, in fact, this is so funny. If I just pick my head up and look that direction, I'm staring at the hot glue gun. It's a good thing our chairs are so close, or I would notice nothing about what's happening in this particular stitching live. Okay, that's great. I'm waiting with bated breath for the lag in the live to catch up to see if anybody in the chat has ever left a hot glue gun plugged in during pickup time. It doesn't seem that way right now.
No, I think it's just us.
Here I thought that was super relatable, and instead it just is
it's just us.
It's just a demerit on our ability to parent and craft safely. I'm taking my #1 badge right now, and I'm passing it back.
You might need to get a #2 badge.
No, I'm just passing it back there. How about you take that? And I'll get that back after I've had a chance to think about what I've done. Oh boy.
Everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
Though we did get home and you were like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that."
I think, or you're gonna let him know that I forgot about it twice.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. Okay, well, obviously I haven't burned myself enough with the hot glue gun that I would remember.
The heat has not stuck with you.
Yeah, every time I have to plug in the hot glue gun for like a craft project with Tilly, my heart kind of sinks a little bit. Like, oh, I gotta go get the glue gun and going for it. So, have to go get that glue gun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I grew up in a house with a glue gun or not. I don't think that I did.
We definitely had one when I was a kid, but
I'm not sure. I may get corrected later, either via direct message or text message or electronic mail, or perhaps just an old-fashioned phone call or something. Or maybe they'll put together like a little note that says, "Yes, we had a glue gun," and they'll glue it together with the glue gun.
I don't know that a glue gun is in the house now. But. All right, okay. So we're all done.
We're all done. Boom, just like that.
I'm going to go ahead and tie that close.
As Jeff Merrick would say, that's a tidy bit of business there. Okay.
Tidy bit of business.
That's a quick little knot, too. All right, so now we've put together kind of the meat and potatoes of this thing now, haven't we?
Yep.
So we're moving on to the side dishes.
Yep, so there's the front.
There's the front. It's a #9.
#9.
Visual triangle of some spangles. And the rosette, that came together super quick.
Yeah, it did. It really does. Okay, so this is how I add a bar pin to, I'm going to put the bar pin on and then I'm going to sew that down.
And they call it a bar pin not because you have to go to a bar to get it, but because it's attached with a bar in the back. Turns out. Okay, great.
So this is very fancy.
Very fancy. You've got this green circle that's peridot, this peridot green circle,
Yep.
and you have this bar which you can get from a crafting supply store.
Of any kind, yes.
Of fine repute.
Indeed.
And it appears to be made of brass.
I presume.
I don't know. What are you doing with the scissors?
I'm just snipping. I'm snipping a hole.
You're snipping a hole.
Yes.
Into the felt.
Felt.
Okay. Why are you snipping a hole?
Because I'm gonna slide. You gotta slide the ends through.
Oh, okay. And then you're gonna stitch it down, or is it just in there loosey goosey?
No, I stitch it down.
Okay, stitching it down.
So I just put the. Gracious.
What?
I'm trying to hold it still. So
I'm not moving.
I know.
I'm not moving.
You,
I'm sitting very still.
Me.
Okay. Oh boy.
Sometimes I use a pen.
Have you done this on camera before?
No, I have not.
What are you going to do with a pen?
Make a mark.
I'm not sure that I could find a pen if I wanted one.
Yeah, I don't have a pen.
Oh boy. Okay.
It's okay.
We're going to have to wing it. We're winging it.
I'm winging it.
Okay, stitching live. We promised them live, and live is what they're going to get.
I wing a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
And generally speaking, things work out okay. So you can make a mark, but I'm just making 2 little slots.
A couple little slots there.
Slots.
Uh-huh.
And you open up your pin.
Open up the pin once you have your slots.
Yep.
And this is interchangeable. It doesn't matter if you're on the top or the bottom side of this green circle right now.
Not really.
Okay.
You know, whatever.
And you've put the pin through as if you were pinning it.
One slot.
Uh-huh.
And I've put the other end through the other slot.
I can see that where you've done that now. Perfect.
And then I'm just gonna sew the edges.
You just bent the stuffing out of that thing to put it up in the air like that, didn't you?
No.
No? Does it have that much play in the pin that you're using there?
Turns out.
What are you talking about?
Give it back.
No, I want to take a look. Wow, this thing has got a huge amount of range on it there. This isn't like just one of those pins that only goes a few degrees. This is like...
this one's got some space on it.
Okay, wow. Only the best for our YouTube audience. There you go, everybody. Okay, spectacular.
Now I'm using 470, which is the thread I use for peridot.
Peridot, everybody, is this green right here. Got it. Boom. I can also see your peridot little floss wrapper right there. It's above my pop-out window.
Oh, there you go.
Someone wants to know if I've read my whole stitching pocket guide yet.
He's been reading it. He really has.
I've been looking at the stitching pocket guide too. Not only that, but I noticed on the title page in italics, it has the names of 2 additional books that contain, or that's where the information is derived from. That's great.
Okay, so I'm going in from the back.
Going in from the back.
The side that's got the bar on it.
Uh-huh.
Just there's usually holes in a bar pin.
Uh-huh, I can see those holes in the bar pin there.
And I'm just gonna feel around till I can get to the side of the bar itself.
Uh-huh.
Pull it down.
Yep.
Then go back through that hole. And do the same thing on the other side. So is ideally not stabbing myself in the finger twice.
Got it. Left side, right side. So this is, we would call this a bar pin stitch.
Sure. Yes. Why not?
Names are definitely showing up today there in the chat. I've been trying to decide if I should be naming names on a YouTube video that someday could be seen by tens of thousands of people. Millions of people will know who it was in the chat, sort of typing in.
Maybe overestimating our reach.
But yeah, if what you want is for me to use your full legal name, lock, stock, and barrel, I could just do that. We could get middle names into the chat too. That would be pretty amazing.
So I'm just going to do that for each.
And you're tying it off every time you do it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You probably don't have to.
Tying it off and snipping it off and then starting over again?
Yep.
Okay, great.
And I'm just going to do that for each of the holes. There's 3 holes on this one.
So more bar pin stitching.
More bar pin stitching.
More bar pin stitches. Otherwise known as just get it on there, dum-dum.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Just make sure it's anchored in there firmly.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, like, it's not going to bunch up anywhere or go anywhere. And it's going to look nice when they're wearing it.
So this isn't a lazy daisy.
No.
Not a whip?
No, it's sort of like a figure 8, really.
Oh, it's kind of a figure 8 stitch. That was not in the book. There's not a figure 8 stitch in the book.
I don't think there's a special fancy name for it. It's just...
Okay.
I'm afraid that I'm too far back or angled or whatever for people to
No, I think people are seeing what's going on here too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, when you hold up the back of the thing, they can see, right? Like there are 3 gaps in that bar pin that we're going to use to anchor it down.
Yep.
And then we're going to just stitch that peridot circle onto that glacier circle, which is right above you there on the tabletop right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then once you've done that, my guess is that you're going to then hold the 2 tails.
Incorrect.
Oh, Boylans. Okay.
Well, I don't have the second tail sewn yet.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. You have to do the once the 2 tails are sewn, then all of it gets sewn together at once is what I was going to say. Yeah, there's going to be a couple of layers coming together all at the same time. Let's see. We can see who says what on our side of the chat, too, so names should be okay. That's true. Someone said they can see the names. I just don't know if you can see the chat, 10, 15 years from now down there in the comments, Everything we do is posterity. That's why the felt is 100% wool. It will last forever, the felt.
It does.
And the chat is going to be the same thing, too. Maybe I'll go back and forth every other week. I'll be naming names and not naming names.
Naming nuts.
Naming nuts. Almond nut, peanut, cashew nut, pecan nut. Harlan Pepper, if you don't stop naming nuts, I'm going to pull this car over. Okay, bar pin is getting secured.
Yep.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Huh.
Pretty straightforward.
And you're not bleeding.
No, I'm not.
There's no bleeding that's happened while that was going on.
I did just loop that around my nose.
That's okay. No one's watching, except everyone's watching.
Yes.
Now, are you gonna close the pin when you start to sew the other parts of it together?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Okay.
I would rather not continually have to dodge the end of the pin.
The end of the pin there. Yeah, that's great. I understand. Okay, we're tying it off. We're a little bit off the camera, but that's fine. No one needs to see. Oh, look at that. Zoop. There it goes. Snip, snip.
Snip, snip. All right, and then I'm just going to close that up.
Boom.
Now, we're going to...
get this attached to the other circle.
Yeah. Hold on, I got to fix something here. There we go. Yep.
Shazam.
Shazam.
So that's what the interior circle is. There's 2 layers there's 2 layers of stitching circles on this glacier.
Yep.
And one of it is to get this part, which is, what would you call the green part at this point in time? It's like...
It's just a back panel.
It was always meant to be the back panel, correct? Like when you design this, you're like, this thing has to have a back panel shot.
I didn't think it had to have
Obviously.
one. This one doesn't have one.
Oh, okay.
I just stitched through these holes just so it wouldn't be like open holes, but it would blend in.
Sure.
But this one does have one. So it's just a personal preference, really.
Okay, a double P. Got it.
Right.
Right, okay, so we're stitching through, and we're going to running stitch this thing here, too.
Yep.
Okay, and you're going to go one direction, then back the other direction.
Yes.
Clockwise, counterclockwise.
Or, yes, something to that effect.
How many episodes of this do you think we'll need to do before I actually understand what's happening, before it's being shown right in front of my face?
Well, I feel like the techniques are pretty much consistent throughout all the different dyes. So I would think that you'll get it sooner rather than later.
Someone has asked, so you could stitch the small circle on the back instead of the big glacier piece? Would that also work? Could you just go with that green, the peridot piece? Does that fit straight onto the back of the other thing or not? Oh, it does fit. So you do not have to have this large glacier piece.
But then you would have one layer here instead of the 2 layers. The 2 layers, I just feel like it looks nicer. It holds up a little bit better. Uh-huh. But you could, if you wanted to, completely forego this back base piece.
Sure.
Because the circles for the front and the back are the same.
Got it. So the circle that you're holding, the peridot piece, is the same circle that you used to cut the tundra piece that the 9 is connected to.
Correct.
Love it. And that's going to be here on this die sheet. I'm going to brandish this towards the camera again.
Okay.
If I can just get it. Nope. The left is right and right is left. This guy right here happens to be the circle that is both the number 9 and the pin back piece.
Yeah.
No idea if you can hear that when I'm holding a magnet in between myself. With no big circle at all? That was a follow-up question there.
With no big circle, you could. If you wanted to go without the base whatsoever, you could do it without the base whatsoever. Everything will connect. I haven't done one that way, so I don't know how challenging it would be to stitch. I can't speak to that, but you could do it without any base piece at all if you wanted to.
Yeah, they're just wondering, Shari's just wondering if you could make it with no big circle at all, just the rosettes with no backing.
Yeah, probably.
The answer is yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I would think so. Then
the frills
I just haven't done it.
The frills would be all kinds of. I couldn't stop my fingers from doing this little frilly shape, but they're happening right. It's just like little frills just kind of blowing in the wind at that point in time, right?
Well, yes, they would be.
Yeah, Shari, we know you're up for a challenge, Shari. Oh my gosh, here we go. Here we go. Breaking news. She P-touches her craft projects and she's up for a challenge, everybody.
All right, let's see here. I don't really want to cut more thread. So I'm just going to tie this off and we're going to be done with the back.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it will hold fine.
It'll hold totally fine. There's that dash line effect right there.
There is the dash line effect right there.
We're tying it and we're moving on with our life. That's
Indeed
it.
we are.
Mm-hmm. Stitch them and leave them. That's that. We're ready to go.
Right.
Stitch them and ready to move on. Okay, snip, snap.
Yep. I mean, it's the back anyway, so.
Yeah, and so now we're going to attach the glacier to glacier with the tails. We have to finish the tail, though, first.
Yeah, we got to finish the tail, though, first. This is the vintage glass.
So there are 2 of these tails that would go onto your prize winner badge.
Yes.
You can see all the components there right now about to come together. One of them has been stitched together.
Yes.
In the interest of stitching live time.
Yes, because I figured you don't need to see me do the exact same thing twice. Because I learned after the stem situation.
We're learning every week. This is great.
that I could have probably done a couple of the stems ahead.
Yeah, so we did one of these tails ahead. I'll grab it since I'm sitting just like that. So we've already stitched one of them together, and you stitched 3 of the 4 sides. So you did not stitch the top side because the top side holes right here.
It's going to get stitched into the circle.
Those are going to get stitched into the circle.
Yes.
So just a quick little zip zip right before we got on camera today. A little running stitch, and we're about to demonstrate that right now. So
yeah, so I still come between the layers, even though this top edge is going to get tucked into something else. I'm still going between the layers just to...
Wow, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Okay, so you start the needle in between layers.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then do you finish it in between layers?
Yep.
Let's see, now we're going to play a game. It's called Can I See Where the Stitches Started and Stopped? And you know what?
You should be able to, because there's a knot and tails.
Holy smokes, look at that. Wow, okay.
Yep.
How many years have you been stitching in the living room while I've been sitting doing something else in the living room, and I've never noticed all these details?
How long have we lived here?
I'm not sure.
10 years?
Anymore. All I can think about is the stitching of these tails together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And you got 3 strands on right now, is that correct?
I do.
Oh, thanks. Someone says we're doing an amazing job. And it was plural. Nice. Can you believe that? This is great. All I'm doing over here is talking about stitching.
But I appreciate that I'm not just sitting here by myself.
A very famous person once said talking about stitching is like dancing about architecture. So that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing. We are dancing about architecture.
Because sometimes I forget to say things like, I am using 3 strands of thread. Yes, Sean Jones. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Sean Jones. And you are doing that thing, and I appreciate it.
Here we go. Oh, look at that. You've already done one angle. Boom. You're moving down to the next one just like that. Yes. This is great.
Yeah, these are not... This die looks way more complicated than it actually is.
You're telling me, because I thought, whoo, boilins. You want to do the prize winner? Okay.
You can sew a
Second
circle.
time out. Here we go.
If you can sew a circle and some straight lines.
That's right. If you want to be able to stitch it, we're here to show you how. Or put more succinctly, you can stitch it, and we're going to show you how.
There you go.
Here on Stitching Live with Lizzie.
And Sean.
And Sean. That's right. Okay. Stitching these things together.
I added the and Sean because you are important.
So you were never in the 4-H, but did you ever receive, can you remember receiving like a ribbon for an achievement of some kind?
Probably on like a field day at school, or I played softball for a lot of years.
You got ribbons for softball?
Yeah.
I thought that was like a trophy-like situation.
I got ribbons for writing competitions.
Someone said, this is why I've never, Shari says, this is why I've never tried live alone. I need someone to talk to. Shari, the desk is open. Or if you want, I can bring this chair. I'll drive myself with this chair strapped to the roof of my mid-sized sedan.
Yeah, well, that is... Oh, come on. Don't be humble.
Oh, what happened?
It's a full-size sedan.
No, it is not.
It isn't?
No.
Oh.
That thing we could get a bigger sedan. This is great. Okay.
I just got a twisty knot.
Oh, boylins. Okay, I gotta stall for time. I gotta stall.
I got it. Jeez.
Think of something. Okay, so you think that you got ribbons for achievement in softball and in Power of the Pen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but other than that, no ribbons to speak of.
Maybe debate.
Debate?
I was a pretty good debater.
There was no debate in the school that I went to. There was no debate club or debate class. Wow, it's snowing out there. Have you noticed?
I have not.
I've got these big...
Smokes.
Oh, holy smokes. We got these big fluffy flakes out the window over there. I just happened to glance. I was looking past the glue gun, past the stage lighting, and next thing you know, I can see some flakes coming down out there.
Yeah, it is. It is. Gracious.
There you go.
I need to...
I'm just trying to think about how many layers you're going to be stitching together here in a moment. So
there's definitely one spot where it gets like real thick. Hold on.
It's two layers of the ribbon, and it's one glacier layer that I can see laying there on the table.
It's two glacier layers,
and then there's another glacier layer, which is the top.
And there's 2 layers for each of the tail. So it's a total of 6 at one spot. Mostly it's 4.
Mostly it's 4 or 6 in a couple of places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not hard.
Okay, not hard at all.
It's just another circle.
You just have to want it. Now, are you headed back right now? I can't.
Yep.
Yeah, we're headed back on this running stitch here.
Yep, I'm headed back on the running stitch.
Yeah, you could make a bumper sticker that said, I just felt like running parentheses stitch. And then there you go. Those things are flying off the shelf, just hotcakes right there. How did I get thread on my jacket? What happened here?
You are in proximity to me.
Oh my gosh.
Find thread on myself all the time.
Okie dokie. There it goes.
Little bits of felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is ever present. It's like glitter, but cottony.
I would think about bringing a lint roller to the stitching line, but I don't know how that sound picks up on camera. And all of a sudden, like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure that would be very pleasant for people's ears.
People at home. Anybody watching this with earbuds in, that's what I want to know. People like, earbuds? No, I've got this in my Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound. Like, if I was watching this, I would want my subwoofer.
We don't have a subwoofer.
Can we get a subwoofer so that I can check and see? Well, I want to know how they're experiencing it at home. There are people at home with the subwoofer on, and I don't know what that's like.
Okay,
so maybe we could plug the subwoofer in. Yeah, that sounds great. Now, is it woofer or woofer? Sequence.
Oh, come
woofer,
on.
Woofer.
Those things are very different words.
I'm just making sure that I know how people are pronouncing it, okay? Okay.
You've been testing me, too.
The snow looks like it's floating upwards now. I don't understand how that works. That's great.
It's wild out there. Gracious.
Okie dokies. My dogs usually have the little felt balls from the holes on them most days.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Those little felt balls.
That's great.
all over everything.
The little felt plugs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what they're used for. They're used to decorate the dogs.
Decorating dogs.
Decorating the dogs. And then you take them down to the grooming salon, and they're just like
Lady,
this is
why is
gonna,
your dog covered
this is gonna wreak havoc on our plumbing. You know, like I can't believe, oh, the felt lady's here again, and we're gonna have to rinse off all these felt plugs. Can you believe it?
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. Get the Drano.
Get the Drano.
The felt crafters on the books. We're all out from the last time.
All right, so
boom, that tail is finished.
This up, so I'm just coming through the layer that I didn't sew through in the first place.
Shari has put the phrase craft droppings into the chat. Craft droppings.
Oh boy.
I just added craft scat into the chat. Is that I don't know if that sounds any better.
I don't think it does, no. Oh dear. All right, so we're just doing a double knot.
Just a double knot.
Yep.
Inside the layers, if you don't want anybody to see where your knot is,
well,
this is what you're going to do.
I mean, it's going to go inside something anyway, so that's maybe not necessarily... I wondered where my other tail went.
I found it.
Sean had it. All right, so there's our tails.
Time to talk. Okay.
And we're going to go...
We have front, we have back, we have tails.
Together. So I heard somewhere once, or I learned somewhere once, that if you put your brooch pin up and down instead of side to side, things stay up nicer. So that's something I have been doing since I learned that little fun fact. Oh, that's a very long piece.
I'm really trying to think this through. Up and down, it leads to when you have it attached to you, it's a better vibe than side to side.
Yeah, because it won't droop. Because
it's the droop. It's because the leverage of the droop. I'm holding my arm now. I've got this camera zoomed in. Okay, so it's not going to want to droop because it's got this anchor point down at the bottom, which is my elbow. Here, I'll hold it higher so they can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, whereas this, it's like, oh, there's nothing. It's just
nothing
flopping.
Holding it up. Yeah.
Because not everybody is going to be pinning their best in show metal to a dry fit T-shirt of some kind.
Precisely.
Something with a lot of spandex in it.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right.
It's always straight too. Well, maybe Shari, maybe where you come from. I have a hard time doing anything in a way that is pinned or going in the right direction straight. Okay. What are you going to do here? We're doing this with Glacier.
We're doing this with Glacier. This is 3813.
Okay, so the back layer, Glacier. The top layer, base layer, Glacier. And so here we go, Glacier.
So I'm going with Glacier.
Mm-hmm.
Thread.
And this is just a running stitch all the way around in a circle.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Once you get going here, I could get crazy. I could blow the camera angle out. I could put it back on your face, and you could just stitch this. Because no one really needs to see that all come together at the same time.
I think they want to see it here.
No.
They're here.
No, I'm gonna let you go about 90 degrees, and then I'm gonna get funky.
Well, no, because I'm gonna show how you do the tails. You can't take it away from doing the tails.
Okay. Well, as soon as you get through the tails, no one's here to watch us argue.
I'm just coming in between the layers.
Okay,
I'm gonna start it at the top so I can have a good foundation on before I try and tuck my tails in.
Oh, got it. That's a thoughtful choice. So you're gonna have a lot of the thing is gonna be stitched together and held firm before you have to add the additional 4 layers of felt.
Then I'm juggling all the stuff. Yeah.
Someone says so. You do need the big. Shari says you do need the big circle to have the tails. So here we are.
Yeah.
I'll even put that in the chat. Oh.
Probably. I'm not saying you couldn't figure out how to get them in otherwise.
What I want to know is what Shari has against the big circles. What have the big circles done to her? She'll tell us when she has a moment.
She just wants the ruffle by itself.
The ruffle by itself.
Which I get.
I just want the ruffle by itself. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Pass me one of those other ones that you finished, because I'm going to look at it and have nothing to contribute to this conversation. So instead, you're saying that would... Okay, so this, the hip bone is connected to the knee bone, is connected to the leg bone, is connected to the thigh bone. Okay, so this circle is that circle and that circle. And that isn't there. And then you could
hot glue them to the back?
No, well, you could, why couldn't you just...
Oh, I just skipped it.
Why couldn't you just get those tails? It's just that at the same time that you're folding the rosettes down, you'd also have to be anchoring them
in the tails.
in
That would be really tricky.
That's okay. Someone likes a challenge.
That's true. So
you could do that. I think you probably could, Shari. I'm not here to tell you that you couldn't do it. I think you could. Not only do I think you could, but I'm pretty sure that you're going to try, and I'm going to get a photo of it in my DMs probably when you do. It's like, here you go. Boom, tried it.
Yes, I have not tried anything without the circles.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also,
yes,
because the center circle is the same size as the center circle on the birthday crown, you could put a rosette on the birthday crown if you wanted to.
You could put a rosette on the birthday crown. You heard it here first in the middle of this live that you could do that. That's great. Wow, a little rosette crown.
Yes, that would be cute.
But if you do that, don't put the tails on it because then they won't be able to see. If you do that, they'll have the tails kind of in front of their eyeballs.
That could be tricky.
Yeah, just like that. And then they'd be getting all the felt fluff. All the craft droppings would be on their lenses.
The craft droppings would be on their lenses. Okay.
Are you ready to put a tail on?
I'm thinking. I gotta figure it out here.
Yeah, because you have to sort out where the tails kind of go by yourself in this bad boy, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you look at the two different ones that I've already done, they have different angles on them, so I definitely put them in.
Get out of here. They have different angles on them?
Yep. So there's not a wrong way.
I could have looked at those for years, and I would have never noticed there were different angles on those bad boys.
To do one more stitch first before I start.
That means you could almost, this rosette could be like a comet then, really, based on how you oriented the center thing on it. The tails could be going like in this direction up into the sky. You know what I'm saying?
I do not know what you're saying.
I'm saying instead of a prize winner button, it could look like a comet. I don't understand how that's the most confusing thing. A lot of reds, a lot of oranges, a lot of yellows.
Let's see here.
Shari says the polka dot ruffle is cute. I know, right?
Thanks.
Everything's cute with the polka dots.
I know, we're working on it.
We're so close.
We're so close.
We're so close with the polka dots. And by so close, we mean see in a few months.
Yeah.
Close is relative.
Close is relative.
Okay, so you've stitched one tail in there or not?
I started one. I'm trying to decide if I started it too early.
Okay.
Yes.
So you started too early, you think?
Maybe.
What if I keep turning my head sideways? If I go like that?
I'm going to take it. I'm going to do one more stitch before I start adding in the...
Okay. So this part is a little bit of trial and error.
Yeah,
and we're stitching live. Yeah. Trying to get the layout. Layout live is what we're doing right now.
I could probably have gone one more.
That's okay. We're just backing out so we can go for it again.
Yep. Oh. I'm going to have to...
Someone says, "Oh, more polka dots? That would be great, but I know they are a special issue. We don't want to give it all away, but we believe that we might have found a place that can attempt to get polka dots back onto our felt for us. And so we're going to try to work together with them to see how it goes. And if it goes well, you'll know it when it's back into...
yeah, we will make an announcement.
Yeah, back in stock. We'll make a big announcement.
Because we will be excited too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really like the polka dots as well.
Yeah, the polka dot felt for sure.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
You've backed it out, and now we're going to stitch it back together again.
I'm going to try again. Yeah.
Here it comes. We are stitching.
This is live.
Once we get the if we sort out the polka dot, we'll have to stitch rosettes for each other. Crowns. Little polka dot crowns.
Little polka dot rosette crowns.
That'll be how we announce it on Instagram. We'll just put a post up of ourselves, and we'll be wearing the birthday crowns. And with
rosette polka dot.
With every color of polka dot will be inside
like
the
a new
crown.
Panel.
Yeah, like a new panel. That's how you'll know. Right? This is like, if I won a lottery, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs. Right. And one of the signs is, oh Lord, did you see they're wearing their
polka dot crowns?
They're wearing those polka dot crowns. Did you notice that? Who do they think they are? Wearing polka dot
Showing
crowns
off
out
polka
there.
dots when they don't have polka dots.
Yeah, what is this?
All right.
Coming through.
Yep.
Great.
A lot of the time, it's just about going slowly and making sure that you've got your needle going through all the different holes on each layer. There's not like, I don't have a whole lot of secrets. It's just about taking your time and watching what you're doing.
Yeah, and people can see that. I'm doing my best to distract you, but it hasn't worked so far.
I'm trying here.
Okay, there we go. Now, are those,
This is the one spot where all the layers are there together.
Because you stitched the two, on that one there's at least one stitch where the two tails are even coming together.
Yeah.
Is that what just happened there?
Yeah, that's the thickest spot.
That's the thickest spot, okay.
No, that's right, though. No, it is.
Okay.
It is, I think.
I'd go with it. It looks great from here.
All right, well. There we go.
Boom. All right, stitching this around.
Just stitching it around.
See, this is where I feel compelled we get to this part of the stitching, especially if you think stitching it closer to your body would be faster, where I would just put this back up. You could look people right in the eye instead of staring at the at the tabletop any longer.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Good. This is where everybody knows when you're doing a craft project where you get to the moment where it all starts to kind of run downhill. This is like the running downhill moment at this point in time. Once you've got the first part of the tail anchored in there, and now you've got the second part of the tail anchored in, you're like, whew, you can just go back to focusing on, maybe you're watching Dynasty or Murder, She Wrote or something, and you can just lock into what's happening.
This is my goal to die on.
You can lock in.
Murder, She Wrote is one of the greatest television shows that has ever been on.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. One of the greatest television shows ever on television.
I think my two favorite shows that have ever been on TV are Murder, She Wrote and Golden Girls.
Oh, boy. I don't know what would happen if I open up a chat or open up a window and just Googled, like, where does Murder, She Wrote fall on the list of greatest television shows of all time?
Awesome.
You've
got a strong female character who doesn't need to have a romantic interest in order to be interesting. And
good afternoon from Florence, Kentucky. Good afternoon to you as well. Florence, y'all. I'm putting that in the chat. Florence, y'all.
Anyway, she's smart and she's thoughtful and she's community minded. And I love it.
You've said nothing about stunts or car chases or explosions or...
That's not really part of the deal.
She
doesn't need all that flash.
She doesn't need all that flash. Love Golden Girls. Has never seen Murder, She Wrote. Oh, wow. Well...
It's on Peacock.
It's on Peacock. Hey, if Peacock wants to, Peacock wants to give us a kickback, that would be fine.
In fact, I got Peacock without the ads just so I could finish watching it.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Because I can't remember. It was on something else. But it only went through like half the seasons, and I was irritated. So
I still don't understand the writing part. What does it mean? What Murder, She Wrote? What are we talking about?
She writes novels based on the murders she...
Is there ever a scene... Are there ever scenes when she is writing?
Yeah.
All I ever do, she just walk around talking to people. That's the whole thing.
That happens too. But no, she's definitely...
Like she's a detective or something.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But she's not. Like she just happens to be...
That's outrageous.
Good at solving mysteries.
And so the police is like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
No, the police, generally speaking, are like, lady, you seem like a nice old woman. Why don't you go get tea somewhere? And then she solves the murder and they're like, we were wrong. You are a capable woman. And I love that.
But it just happens again and again and again for how many seasons?
Like 12, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like after one season of solving murders, they'd be like, okay, you can hang. That's fine.
Well, the local police let her hang. But, when she travels for her book tours and when she is a professor in New York.
What is she a professor
of? For a couple of seasons.
What's she a professor of for a couple of seasons?
Creative writing.
Creative writing. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
She's
Creative
also,
writing.
at the beginning of the series, she is a substitute English teacher.
A substitute English teacher, because she doesn't have time to do it full time.
No.
She's solving murders.
When she starts the series, she is not a published author.
Okay.
Her nephew, Grady, submits a manuscript and gets her a publisher.
So her nephew Grady is the one that nowadays would be like self-publishing them as ebooks on Amazon.com is what they would be doing. Probably instead. I hope they don't try to do any kind of like modernizing to the Murder, She Wrote.
Anyway, it's a great show.
You
haven't watched it.
You're running stitching your way back. It looks like you're a quarter of the way back now, huh?
I am.
And like I said, this is that point in time in the craft project where you're just like, you know what?
I'm gonna wax poetic about Murder, She Wrote.
About Murder, She Wrote.
For
people on the internet who have not seen it yet. That's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to put that into the description once this thing is published. People are going to be texting their friends, did you see the latest live with Lizzie and Sean? They went on a deep dive about Murder, She Wrote. And, I mean, is Murder, She Wrote the best thing that Angela Lansbury has ever done?
She did a movie, I think it was in like 90... No, first of all, no.
Beauty and the Beast, that's the movie.
That's not what I was going to say.
What movie were you going to say?
First of all, I was going to say she's done a lot of theater, a lot of stage stuff.
I know, that's what I'm trying to say.
She's like a Broadway legend.
I'm asking if Murder, She Wrote is the best thing that she's ever done.
I don't know that I would say that.
You don't know that you would say that. Could you name what the best thing is that you think she's ever done? Or you're like me now, you're just hedging. You're like, I'm not going to say because there's probably something incredible that I've forgotten. There's like a Tony Award that I forgot about.
Also, she did a movie, The Unexpected Mrs. starts with P. Can't remember the name of it. But it's sort of Murder, She Wrote-ish.
Somebody else in the chat, Beauty and the Beast, look at that. Tale as old as time.
Tilly loves that so much. You should have seen at the end of the year my Spotify rap was just all Disney soundtracks.
Oh boy, yeah. Let's not get into it.
That child has never met a Disney soundtrack. She didn't want to rock out
now we've got a bed knob and broomsticks. Is that also Angela? It was Angela Lansbury in that bad boy as well.
I'm afraid
that's the second bad boy of the live. That's our second one. That's great. This is where it gets a little thicker, so you're headed back through the tails again.
It's a little thicker there.
It's a little bit thicker there. That's okay. That's okay. It's just a few stitches of thickness to get through.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, 12-ish stitches of thickness.
This is great, and this project's going to be completely sewn up.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I did feel a little bit bad that we didn't get the last one totally sewn up. Because I want to show my hidden knot technique, because I know people have asked to see that, and we didn't get to it last
I don't think you have enough thread to get to the end of this thing right now.
Excuse me?
This is it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, no, this is it. This is like in a movie where they just put a clock. You know, they keep like flashing a clock on the screen to see, and you're like, the whole time you're watching, you're like, is he gonna be able to get it done?
Is she gonna make it?
Yeah, this is it now. Now I'm looking to see how much thread is there. Are you gonna make it or not make it?
I'm gonna make it.
You think you're gonna make it, huh?
I do.
I don't know, man. And this is where I would, if I was cross stitching, this is where I would get a new piece of thought. I'm just like,
no dice.
You all know how when you're stitching and you think you can make it, and so you're just there, you're like, I'm gonna make sure, and like your needle, you maybe even get a shorter needle just because you're like, yeah, that's where we are right here.
No,
I know everybody in the chat can relate to that.
The hardest part about going around this second time is just making sure you're not stabbing through the rosette.
Oh, got it, yeah. That's another vote for not using the big circles. All good stitchers play thread chicken.
Yep.
Thread chicken, huh?
Thread chicken. I'm familiar with thread chicken. Look at this. Look how much.
Now you're cocky. Look how much thread I have left.
Look how much thread I have here.
So much thread. I have so much thread left that I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it.
I'm going to boast about it for a minute.
My spool runneth over. Oh boy, we've created a monster. All right, we're stitching.
I'm very confident here.
We're about to do the knot, the secret hidden knot there at the very end of this.
So we're coming back in.
You're coming back in.
In between the layers. In between the layers.
In between the layers.
Here we go.
You got to hold this up closer to the camera there if you really want this to come through.
Well, I'm going to double knot it first. I took off my needle.
Wait a second. You're going to double knot before whatever hidden knot thing we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, so we've finished the last. We finished the last stitch. Step 1, finish the last stitch. Step 2,
do the knot.
Get the thread in between the layers.
Yes.
Step 3, do the double knot.
Okay, do the double knot.
That's what we've got there so far. What's step 4 then?
Thread your needle.
Oh boy, you've taken it off, you've knotted it, now you're threading it again?
Yeah, that was maybe not the best.
There are twists and turns.
I know.
In this. Okay, the plot thickens.
The drama, yes.
The felt thickens, the plot thickens. Okay.
You're going to take your needle.
Uh-huh.
Slide it between the layers of felt.
In between layers of felt, okay.
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 And you're going to just pull it through anywhere.
Anywhere?
Doesn't matter where.
Oh.
You're pulling it through.
Uh-huh.
You pull it tight.
Pull it tight, like really tight and snip it.
Like really tight and then snip it. And then the tail hides itself inside.
Since you pulled it so tight when you were pulling it through there and you snipped it.
That's right.
That's it.
And then you're just going to do that same thing on the other side.
What do you mean the same thing on the other side? Oh, you got the other tail, you mean?
Yeah, to do the other tail.
You threaded the tail back onto the needle?
I'm going to here in a second.
Uh-huh.
It's shorter, so I put my needle in first.
Wow, this is great. People have to get all the way to the end of the video to see how dope this is. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Uh-huh. So we've got this tail. We've got the needle buried in between the layers, coming out someplace. Now we're threading.
I gotta even up my end here.
Okay, sorry. One moment, please. Snip. Okay, so we're getting that.
Okay.
Onto the needle.
So I've got my needle threaded.
Your needle's threaded.
And it's through the felt.
Through the felt.
Doesn't matter where.
Doesn't matter where.
Pull it through.
Pull it through really tight.
Really tight.
And then after you pull it tight, you snip it.
Yep. And it disappears.
And then it disappears.
There's no...
Et voila.
No, et voila.
Will you hold it the right side up? You got this thing upside down there. There you go. And just like that, everybody.
You can't see where I came through because it's felt and you just rub your finger over it and it hides. There you go.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to go back to the main camera here, I think. Just a second. Let's turn off these pictures, everybody. We got to say goodbye.
Yeah.
She's got to say goodbye at least.
I do.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody. So here's our prize winner die. We've got a couple of different back options, but that's how it comes together. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you again hopefully next week. The next time we're stitching live. Have fun. Make sure if you haven't given us a subscribe, you can. You can like it, share it with your friends. And we will do older dies. I wanted to do some of the newer dies because this was a new thing that we were starting, but in the future we'll do older dies. Probably seasonally appropriate dies. I know people want to see the harvest pumpkin, so we will definitely do that, but probably not until a little bit later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll keep doing it, and hopefully this will be helpful for everyone. That's great, everybody. All right. See you later. Thank you. Bye.